this is where we are now. We've assembled all of the loose items on here. Thankfully didn't ruin the paint job too much, which is good news. Say aside from the covering for the windows, that's one thing that needs to go on, but I just want to paint these little wipers. And yeah, I'll do the lights, little lenses and stuff, yeah. And then it will be, yeah, on to doing the transfers and possibly doing a bit of freehand on this. So let's get on with it. So we're going to use some lead belcher. Use a smaller brush. I'm going to use a Rosemary 00, Rosemary Co 00. I quite like the transparency of the Vallejo dark green. Initially I wasn't, you know, that can be good and bad, but it doesn't mean you can be quite subtle. There's that word again. Yeah, you can build up volume quite nicely with it, so sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. Okay, we're going to do the lights now. I'm not 100% certain of how I'm going to do these, so this may be a bit of a voyage of discovery. I find it much easier to just say, just to cover them all in white paint and then neaten up from there. Okay, we're going to do the lenses for the guns and other sort of sighting optical equipment. We're going to do it with this nice, beautiful royal blue from Vallejo. I went insane and ended up getting two bottles of electric blue, which I've now got to figure out what I'm going to do with 2 bottles of electric blue. So I may have to come up with some sort of cool custom, I don't know, towel colour scheme maybe. We'll see how bright it is, but we'll use that as a highlight for these lenses. Yeah. Okay, we're going to try some Texas blue as a mid-tone. Okay, let's use some of this dratted electric blue. First impressions, it seems quite like old school ice blue, which is good. Definitely going to have to do a darker shade at the top of here. I did wonder if it'd be dark enough. No, it's not. So just leaving a little ring, a little bit at the bottom. Right, we're going to mix them back into this royal blue to bring it down a little bit. Have a go with some fluorescent yellow from Vallejo for the lights. This may not be a good idea. This may be a massive mistake. I'm going to water it right down. So I genuinely don't know how this stuff is going to behave anyway. This might be quite watery to start with, so we'll see. I want to have a go at some one source lighting as well at some point. I think on balance, no, I'm not enjoying that. We'll let that dry and then we'll think about how we can salvage that and make that look a little bit less gaudy. While we wait for that to dry, let us do the ropes on here. Okay, we're going to highlight this with some Iraqi sand. So yeah, just going to mix those two together. As usual, leaving darker paint in recesses and just highlighting the top bits. We gradually build up some contrast. Hello again, and once again we're back on with the tank. So, not very much left to do on this. Just some, yeah, niceties that will make it really look good, I hope. So, first things we're going to look at is making these exhausts look nice and burnt. I've already had a go at one of them because I wasn't entirely sure about how I was going to go about doing this, and yeah, I'm pleased with how it's come out, so yeah. Let's do it again. So, we're using some flesh wash, some old school Citadel stuff, so it's basically like your Reichland flesh shade, but with a bit more oomph behind it, you know. I do like how I dilute the modern stuff is. I mean, there's a lot to be said about this. There's a lot less chance of screwing things up when it's that kind of yeah, faintness, but yeah, there can be disadvantages too. So we're just going to do nearly all of this. But leaving just the bottom bit. Still bulk gunmetal or lead belcher. Okay, now we're going to salvage the rest of this. Is unfortunately, yeah, my experiment with fluorescent yellow was possibly not as successful as I hoped, but I think we can make it work. So we're just going to, yeah, this is some Vallejo brilliant white, just plain old white, and we're just going to stick it in the middle of these recesses. So we want to get that kind of incandescent glowing effect coming through without it just being a horrible gaudy high-vis mess. Yeah, like that. And we're going to neaten it up with some black. So So just going along the other mesh. It's easy to cock this up, so don't worry if you do. Just rinse and repeat, really. It's like doing eyes, you know. Sometimes you just got to accept that it may take multiple attempts to get your eyes right. But this is why, yeah, people say thin your paints, because obviously if you're using very thick stuff, especially with something like eyes, you are, or, you know, faces, you're going to end up in trouble. Oh, that's certainly better than it did look. Right, back on to these exhausts. Okay, we're going to use blue wash for this. Again, this is where I can't really advise you on modern day equivalents because I don't know enough about them. I'm sure a blue ink of some description would be what you're after. Right, so we've got our currently burnt exhaust, so now we're going to put this blue ink over the top of it, and we're going to leave just a little sort of bit of the brown coming through at the bottom. It's quite a severe transition, so just have faith in it, it does work. So if these were bigger, I would probably want to put some magenta in as well, but because it's not exactly an extensive piece, I think we might be pushing it, trying to put that level of detail in. We will see. It's already quite easy to go over the brown that you've done. If you're lucky, you'll get some of that sort of violet hint coming through anyway. But it is quite an intense cobalt when you're talking about looking at this in real life, so yeah. Do not be afraid. I'll leave that to dry, and I may go over that a bit more with some flesh wash to even out that transition, but yeah, all in all, pretty pleased there. Okie dokie. We're going to try, God help us, we're going to try to do some non-metallic metal. I want to do a chalice on this door panel because I think it's a bit boring. I don't think we've ever actually done any honest to God non-metallic metal before, so this may be disastrous. But we've looked at some tutorials, we understand the theory. We can only try. If we don't try, we never learn. So I'm going to start off using some Beastly Brown from Vallejo. We're just going to very roughly sketch out the outline of this here chalice that we want to do. Chalice to chalice, and I feel all right. Okay, clearly massive cock up there, way too thick on the stem, but we will try to salvage. Okay, I'm now going to jump up to some snakebite leather, some old school 90s Citadel snakebite leather. Just because, yeah, Squidmar seems to swear by it. But yeah, the question is, how are we highlighting this? So I'm going to say we want this to be the lighter side, light coming from this side, I think. I'll go with Ochre Brown from Vallejo. Still not changing this pad, even though it's a mess. So I get that the idea of this is to have quite significant contrast, so you can't be afraid of a clean line. Okay, we're going to move on to the yellows now. Let's use some deep yellow. We already have some white going, so yeah, that should still be okay, I think. Bit of water. Okay, we're going to mix the yellow with the ochre brown because that. I think we are getting somewhere, but we've just got to make our transitions a lot more. Okay, I think I know where we're going wrong here. I think I need to make this secondary highlight a lot duller. And yeah, possibly do deal with some stuff here. But I'm reasonably happy with how it is. It's a bit lopsided, so we'll have to do some work with it, yeah. Right. So we're going to mix this yellow and ochre together again. Make it quite fine. And then we're just going to paint this and dull this down. And Luna's going to be a nutcase. Okay, this is where we currently stand. Overall, yeah, it's gone better than I thought it would. I'm not 100%, but it's my first attempt and I have to cut myself some slack. It certainly looks like a gold chalice, so from that perspective, yeah. So we're just going to do one more thing. We're going to put a blood drop on this because this is, after all, a Blood Angels tank, and yeah. Then it's going to be putting some decals on it and varnishing and any last minute sort of checks, and done. So So we're going to use some, that was Mephiston red as a base by the way, and we're going to use some dark vermilion. And now we're just going to use some Wild Riders red. I should have thinned. A tiny bit of light orange. And we're going to do our same trick and use some purple to make a nice dark deep red low light. And a tiny bit of black. Yeah, not bad. I think we're at the point now where any more messing around is actually going to backfire on us. So yeah. Let's go on and do those decals.